Hello and welcome to Startup Champions 2.0, the show where you meet and learn from National Startup Award winning founders. In the episode today, you will meet two startup champions from the fintech industry. They are Nafa Innovations and Umbo IDTech. Fintech industry has established India's presence on the global tech map. It has put us at least 10 years ahead of the others in this domain. You will be surprised that the ease with which we make money transfers in India via fintech apps, this is yet not even as easy in the USA. Now imagine if taking payments or checking your bank balance was as easy as giving a command to a voice assistant. Imagine if you would say, "Hello assistant, what is my bank balance?" and the assistant will actually give your bank balance out. Our first startup champion for today has done exactly just this. They've leveraged sound technology to make digital transactions easier for millions of Indian merchants and customers. Let's now hear the ToneTag story.
There is a problem whenever you go into market, you pay in cash, you always get a candy back. And that was the problem which we were also facing every time anyone goes into market doing some shopping and stuff. So me and Kumar sat together and we thought, why don't we create something for this problem? Because there is a real problem which is happening in market, and what can be the best possible solution? And that's where we came up with an idea, why don't we create a reverse wallet, where instead of customer putting money into wallet and paying digitally, why don't we allow merchant to return the money in digital format? What we created is ToneTag, where using sound waves we can send data securely over, we can pass data on sound waves in very secure manner. The data is highly encrypted, no one can decode it. The data which is being carried is tokenized to add additional layer of security, and then we can enable now any device phone in anywhere in the entire globe to have contactless payment. I don't need to upgrade the hardware, I don't need to change anything in the phone, and your phone is ready for contactless payment. Our vision aligns with our Prime Minister's vision. We want to enable entire population of India at least to be digitally tech savvy. At least they can do all the digital transactions what is available for them.
Vivek, welcome to Startup Champions 2.0. Fantastic. So let's just begin with the first question straight up ahead. Let us now check your balance with the ToneTag technology.
So the solution what we have created, what we were seeing also, the solution is just voice command. So now the problem is there are a lot of apps which is available in market. You can download a number of apps, but training how to use the app is again a new set of challenge.
Sure.
And what if a user is not very much tech savvy, he is not very much prominent of using the different technologies which is available. So
Sure.
what we have done in ToneTag, the product what we have launched is Voice Say, where by just using your voice in your regional language, let's say there is a person who is sitting in Bengal and he wants to talk in his preferred language, Bengali,
Sure.
and he wants to know the balance in his account. So what he just need to do is just call a number, say that I need to check a balance in my regional language. The next prompt will be just you have to enter your UPI PIN to authenticate the transaction, and
How about we actually see our bank balance now?
the solution is pretty simple. You just have to dial a number, you have to tell what is the service you are looking for, authorize with your UPI PIN, and done. Right? So let me show you how
Sure.
this exactly works. So I need to dial the number 6366 200 200.
बीप के बाद कृपया बताएं कि आप किस सेवा का उपयोग करना चाहते हैं। मनी ट्रांसफर, मर्चेंट पेमेंट, बैलेंस पूछताछ, यूपीआई पिन चेंज।
Balance inquiry.
अपना बैलेंस चेक करने के लिए कृपया अपना 4 अंकों का यूपीआई पिन टाइप करें।
So I need to authenticate with my PIN.
आपका बैलेंस ₹7 है।
It is as simple as that.
Fantastic. So, tell me something. How did you get the entire ToneTag idea? What problem prompted this for you?
So when we started early 2012, 2013, where there was a big problem which we were seeing is whenever you pay in cash, you are always getting candy back, right? So 5 rupees equal to 5 rupee candy.
Sure.
And that's where we thought, why don't we create a reverse wallet where a merchant can transfer that 5 rupee digitally into your wallet, and then you can use that money in digital transactions. When we launched our first service, Mobile Gullak, we saw a new problem that how a customer is going to interact with the merchant.
Sure.
How the device is going to talk, because it is a mobile payment, right? So then we focused on a basic feature which is available in any phone. If it is a high-end phone or it is a basic phone, what is the basic feature available, which is speaker and microphone. And then we started working on this, how we can enable a solution which uses sound and how we can send this data securely over sound waves. And that's where ToneTag came into picture. We filed our patents, we got multiple approvals as well, where in secure manner I can interact with two devices. I can send the payment request to other device and payment can be completed.
Interesting. Now comes the most important question from our audience. What's your business model? How do you make money?
So there are multiple models what we have. So VoiceSay is working on UPI 123 Pay, where all the transaction which is happening, there is a MDR which we get. We have our SaaS and PaaS model as well, where we have our product. We have a retail pod which goes to merchant as an acknowledgement device on QR code payment. We have our ToneTag SDK which we give to our partners, where we charge some revenue on the license. So there are multiple instances we have built where we get money from the.
Interesting. So if you actually end up creating a fintech company like ToneTag, now you know that you can end up making a lot of money, not just by one method, but actually 4 or 5 different ways that money will actually trickle down in your pockets and you will build wealth as well. How did you find how did you fund your business on day one? On day one, so that's one part of the question. The second part of the question is, now, after actually proving your product market fit, have you raised any external money?
So initial was obviously me and Kumar started this company long back, and it was self-funded. When we came to MVP product, minimum viable product, when we were ready that yes, we have built something, that we went to friends and family, they helped us, they gave us some money, and then we went to institutional investor.
Look, if I'm a small merchant, I might be very, very small. I might be a small kirana wala for that matter, right? Can I still use your technology?
Certainly. So there are a lot of government schemes also coming in for all these small street vendors, how we can enable those street vendors to accept digital money. And that's where we are giving our solution in very simple way. You just dial, as a merchant, you just dial in a number, you say that you want to get registered on this platform, say your bank name. You don't need to be a tech savvy or a very smart person to get onboarded. We will get you onboarded in no time, just a click and you are onboarded. And
Wow.
next second you can start accepting money. So
Oh,
the solution
fantastic.
is as simple as that.
So all that I need is your technology and a bank account.
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow. Okay, tell me something else. Now more questions are emerging. Your technology, does it require 4G or 5G or 3G or any such G as a basic, or can I just have no internet and still use your technology?
So that's the best part. We don't need anything. We just need a network where you can dial in. So if you're using our IVR VoiceSay, you just need a network where you can dial in the number. If you're using our ToneTag technology, it totally works offline on any device which is available anywhere in the entire globe. We are not hardware dependent. We are not network dependent. We are not any dependent. And this solution can be integrated in anywhere in the world in just a click.
What is most important, to be a problem solver or to be thinking of a CEO first?
See, the most important, you can be a CEO. You just have to incorporate a company and next day you are a CEO of the company. You don't have to do anything for that. But the important thing is how you're going to survive, what exactly you're doing in the market, right? So you have to pick a problem which is there in the market. You cannot create a problem and then solve it. So you have to go in market, pick a right problem which is there, which people are struggling, and
Sure.
create a solution for that. If you are a real market fit, if the consumer is really accepting the solution, what you're trying to solve, then you are the real CEO of the company.
Very interesting. So that's the definition of being a real CEO. Just a designation doesn't work. Millions of Indians are watching you right now. What's your message to all of them?
So very simple, don't have a plan B. If you are doing something, have a faith on your concept, have a faith on yourself, have a faith on your idea, and make sure that you are going to make it work. If you are going for plan B, then there are high chances you are going to fail, because you are going to 50-50 on two ships, right? So always keep that plan B as plan A only. Then success is yours.
Fantastic. No plan Bs. Your plan B is your plan A. Now, I will summarize the 3 most important learnings of this entire session for you. Number 1, there is massive scope of innovation in the fintech industry. Number 2, cash flow is critical for a business owner. If your fintech product solves this problem, it will automatically gain a lot of acceptance. And number 3, look, India's tier 2, 3, 4 cities still have massive opportunities if you can build the right fintech solutions for all of them. Gain your customers' trust to gain your customers' transactions. On that note, we are breaking in for a very, very short break, but don't you go anywhere. Up next is a fantastic team that has solved a big, big problem in our country, that of insurance with technology. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to Startup Champions 2.0. Have you ever booked a railway ticket? While booking the ticket, it asks you if you would like to insure your journey. You can insure your life and your luggage both, actually. Have you ever questioned how did this really happen? Who gives millions of people this insurance? What is the technology that makes it happen? Insurance industry is going through this massive disruption due to InsurTech. What you will learn in this session will open your eyes to the future of billion-dollar possibilities. Let's now hear the story of Discovery.
Insurance should be democratized. Everyone should have access to insurance because nobody can predict the future. We are a one-stop shop for any insurance product to be distributed by any partner to any distribution channel. So we aggregate the aggregator. We provide them the tools like a business correspondent or a banking correspondent. We provide them the tools to distribute insurance to their customer constituents. On the insurance companies, we work with about 40 out of the 54 plus insurance companies that are in India, both on the life side, on the non-life side as well, where we have built pipes into them to distribute their products digitally. On the distribution end, we have worked with more than 50 large brands. Today, our technology has the power to distribute 70% or basically digitize 70% of India's insurance distribution that exists today.
Discovery, we started off with a very large objective. We didn't think of like small things. We always thought about what is it that we want to do in a very grand manner, but that is equally scalable. The vision always has been, provide insurance for anybody, anywhere, and base it on risk. We want probably, that to go into the government's stack, and that is actually provided to whoever wants to integrate with us. And insurance just happens for them. They go to production in like about 2 hours.
So Saurabh and Suvendu, welcome to Startup Champions 2.0.
Thank you.
Let's start with the first question and the tough one. Look, you've proven that technology will fundamentally disrupt and force the old businesses to change or either perish. How did you find this entire large enough problem to solve that of InsurTech, especially with Discovery?
So I'll just quickly start with, it was a little bit of an epiphany. We, out of the four co-founders, two of us come from the insurance industry. We spent almost 2 decades, working and building, P&Ls for private general insurers. And while we were doing that, one of the big problems that we saw developing over the last 1.5 decades was that distribution was being kind of ignored. If you see the entire value chain on insurance, you have the insurance manufacturers and you have the end consumers and you have a distributor right in the middle,
sure,
who are the brokers or agents or whatever. And the insurance companies ended up building the core, which is very important because they're underwriters. Mm-hmm. They have to make innovative insurance solutions and price them correctly, manage the claims, etc., which is the most important part. When it comes to distribution, that's another very important piece that needs technology. Now, over the years, that got kind of neglected and it kind of started building a huge gap. And we sitting on the other side of the table were seeing it gaping into our eyes. So that's where this problem and the opportunity occurred to us, and hence Discovery today.
How did you fund your business on day one? And after that, have you raised any external funding?
Yeah, I think when we came together, the idea was to build a category leader in that segment, category first, build an infrastructure for distributing insurance.
Sure.
That was completely a new idea. So that's how we were not sure that who will fund us. So all the co-founders put together our own money and we created our initial prototype and went to few clients, and we saw the people accepting and willing to adopt it and willing to pay for it. So that is when we created our first module and out of our own money. But obviously we knew that when we have a market ready for our product,
sure,
we need to expand much faster and go to much more larger set of clients and the buyers who will adopt our product. So that is when we went to some of the investors, institutional investors and angel investors. So we already completed 3 rounds of funding in last 4 years. So that has helped us to invest money in building the technology which
sure,
can enhance the insurance industry.
Sure. So that's a great lesson for all of you. If you actually are solving the right problem for the right customer with the right product, of course, a lot of investors will come running after you and invest money in you. In your view, for the both of you, before being an entrepreneur, what actually comes is being a problem solver first, right? Today you are a large team. So, do you see that being a CEO or being an entrepreneur is way more important, to you than being a problem solver, or it's the other way around?
Problem is at the core. It's at the vertex of anything that we do. I mean, for existence, as far as be it an for-profit or a non-profit,
Sure.
Opportunity. So, the belief here is that problem is always going to be superior. Everything, the ecosystem should be created around it. So, whether it's a CEO or an entrepreneur or a team, it needs to fit in as a jigsaw to be able to create the larger picture.
Sure.
So that's how I would encourage you to think about it, and that's how we've gone about thinking about it.
Sure.
So yeah.
I would like to add that while that's a thought process, if we would have wanted to be a CEO, we would have continued our corporate jobs.
Right.
So we came and wanted to start a venture where we can create more CEOs. So in
Sure.
our organization, we empower our team members to behave like CEOs in their respective function, and they take risks and make mistakes, learn and go forward.
How did you make your first ever sale?
First ever sale started, very early in our journey, where we knew where the problems existed. So it was predefined, predetermined, and straight out of our labs, we knew that there were areas that this product was, crying for as a demand space. So we went out and, reached out to two large segments, one in the banking and financial services space on the wealth management company that adopted the platform, and they were already incumbent distributors of insurance.
Okay.
So there was a pre-existing need there.
Sure.
On the other side, what we call as new to insurance distribution use case, where retail industry, one of the largest retail industry players, adopted the platform for an omni-channel use case, where within the stores, as you walk out of the store, and at the till you can buy actually an insurance by swiping, and then at the same thing you can manage it through a fintech app that they had for managing points and loyalties and all that kind of stuff. So entire ecosystem stitched together. It's a very interesting use case, and these were the first two partners that we kind of powered.
Interesting.
As we walked out.
For all of you, the important part here is do start learning about and do a lot of online search about digital insurance. Insurance is being disrupted, and you're learning it for the very first time. Let's understand your marketing strategy now. How do you engage your customers? How do you reach out to your customers? How do you find new customers?
Yeah, so we have two sets of target segment who we assume as our customer. So one are the existing distributors of insurance who can be agents, the corporate agents, brokers
Sure.
in the current insurance industry. We are also trying to bring in a lot of new to insurance players who can bundle insurance along with their core products as an embedded insurance product. And so that is kind of completely enabling the whole industry, that anybody who has a core product, who has a huge set of customers and existing channel to distribute, they can start bundling insurance along with their core product. They don't have to think about the technology,
Sure.
the insurance product or anything else. Everything else that Discovery provides, you just come and start and explore.
I would just quickly like to add to that, and the reason why we're kind of trying to pursue this is the new to insurance category
Sure.
is where the real growth is going to come out of. Because if you see the vision of under penetration of insurance at 4.5% today, and that needs to go up, and the mandate from the top is to ensure that this grows up to 6% as we go. So what's important here is to open up these new channels where embedded insurance, contextual insurance use cases, which are basically will almost become invisible for a consumer,
Sure.
and it's not even touching you,
Right.
but you'll be purchasing it.
Right.
So
let me actually make it very simple for our audience, right? So when they say embedded insurance, what that actually means is, let's say you're booking a railway ticket. When the website actually asks you to buy insurance, that's embedded insurance. Let's say you're buying furniture, and the furniture seller actually tells you, I will insure your furniture, that's embedded insurance. So similarly, a lot of such use cases will actually open up, and that's what
Yep.
exactly, which is what they're saying. Millions of Indians are watching you right now. What's your message to all of them?
The message in twofold. One is in terms of getting into a venture, the whole ecosystem is so supportive today of any venture anyone getting into, whether it is the idea and whether it is the fund or whether it is the market and or enabling from the government side and everybody else. So it is just your passion and the confidence to go forward. And finally, I would say what is more important is taking risk and perseverance that is required.
Fantastic. On that note, two of the most important learnings from this session for all of you are, number one, your perseverance, and along with that, product mindset, right? If you're able to grab the right opportunity in the form of the right problem from the customer, you will always be able to actually create a much better solution. Number two is always ensure that you keep talking to your customers, which is what they did, only then were they able to make their first sale and grow their company to 75 customers. It's time now to take a very, very short break, but don't you go anywhere, because right up on the other end of the break, we will have your questions and answers from our startup champions. Don't you go anywhere. I'll see you up very, very soon. Welcome back to Startup Champions 2.0. So champions, are you ready for some tough questions?
We are.
Smart ones, great, fantastic. So our first question has come from New Delhi. Mr. Anup, a professional from New Delhi, please come on screen and ask your question.
Hello everyone, my name is Anup Gulati. My question is for the ToneTag team. Can small merchants use ToneTag technology for taking payments?
This is very simple. So what the technology what we have built is for everyone. It is not dependent on hardware. It is not dependent on the technology what we are using. It is totally not dependent on the area where we want to use.
Okay.
So for small merchants, so small kirana store or the street vendor. So the solution what we have built, dial a number, you request for registration on the UPI network, and then you are good to go. It is just a click and you are onboarded for the payments.
So what you're fundamentally saying is, if I have a phone, if I know how to dial a number on a phone, and if I have a bank account, I'm ready.
That's it. Yes.
That's all?
That is the only thing which is required.
Nothing
now.
else?
Nothing else.
Wow, fantastic. So Anup, I hope that your question has been answered. We have our second question all the way from Jharkhand. Anurag ji, please come on screen and ask your question.
Hello, I am Anurag Kumar Singh. I have a question for Discovery team. How big is your tech team? How many senior leaders do you have in tech?
From the 130 people that we have in Discovery, we have almost around 75 people that power up our tech day in, day out. And for those 75 people, we have around 18 leaders that manage that show and ensure that we create more as we go along. So
fantastic.
That's the ratio that we are
Fantastic. Talking about. Now is the time to take our learning to the next level with how to start a startup. Step number 4. You now need to understand the fact that to make your startup successful, you have to achieve something very important, which is called a PMF. That's a product, market, and founder fit, which is exactly what both of the companies here, both of our startup champions have actually already achieved. What does it mean? Look, your product has to be solving the right problem for the right market, and of course your founding team has to be the right team to be solving that one particular problem. For example, in case of ToneTag and in case of Discovery, they were able to put together the right team. So when the right team came together, they saw the right problem with the right experience, of course, right? So the right problem when they started solving for a customer, the customers started paying for it. The moment the customers started paying for it, they were able to achieve something that we call PMF, that is product, market, and founders fit. Do not take a step further ahead if you are unable to actually achieve a PMF, because if you do, chances are high that you will fail. How to actually assess that you will be able to achieve PMF? It's very, very simple. I'm going to give you a framework now. Check your daily, weekly, and monthly organic demand in the market. So daily, weekly, and monthly, how many new customers are you onboarding? How many of them are actually paying you the fee that you are wanting them to pay? That's your PMF. The moment you achieve that, you are through to the next level of success in your startup. On that note, thank you so very much, the both of you gentlemen, for joining us today. And thank you very, very much, the audience, for joining us in this episode of Startup Champions 2.0. Please ensure that you give us your feedback by uploading your videos with the hashtag StartupChampions2. Who knows, your feedback might just become so popular that your video goes viral along the entire DD network. Our next episode is going to be extremely interesting. You will meet a lot of interesting startup champions who will give you a lot more money learning. So don't miss a single episode of Startup Champions 2. Stay hungry, stay foolish. I'll see you in the next episode.